lot of the times, you should ask the person that's yapping, hey, do you want a solution or do you want an ear? And most times people just want an ear, and that is just really, really great. Um, and it's also just way more productive of a conversation. And I kind of love when someone says, oh, I need a solution, because then you can kind of like work together, collaborate. That's fun. And a lot of things in life you kind of have to accomplish on your own, but you don't have to experience on your own. You know what I mean? Like there's things in your job, you have to be the one taking the test at school. You have to be the one performing on the field. Like you have to accomplish these things on your own, but not experience them on your own. And I just really benefited from having two brothers that played football, having a dad that played football. I'd play a game and I would talk to them and debrief about the game. And that was really helpful. And so if you can, understand what the person's looking for in a conversation, if you're looking for an ear or solution, that will go a long way. Most times people just want to listen. I just really want to remind young kids, middle school, high school, college, whatever it is, if you're in college, you're still a kid, in my opinion, that you really can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? You can accomplish really great things. You can create the life that you never thought you could. My senior year, I was playing basketball, and when I was in high school, I never started on the football team. It's crazy. I went 4 years of playing football in high school, and I never started. And I didn't start because I wasn't really one of those like maniac football players. Like I was in all the AP classes. I got my degree from Penn State in biology. Like I wanted to be a doctor. And so my coaches didn't really like that I was, more interested in school than football. And so, we had just won a great basketball game. This was right after I found out that I was walking on at Penn State. And my high school football coach comes up to me and my mom, and he says, oh, I heard you're going to Penn State. And I said, yeah, I'm really excited, coach. And he goes, oh, are you there to boost the team GPA? And he said that in front of, I'm 17 years old. This is a middle-aged man talking to a 17-year-old kid that way. And, I'm standing there with my mom. My mom almost tore him apart. You know what I mean? And my mom isn't an easygoing person. Like, she'll tear you up. And it just like, you'll go through phases in your life where you're not always winning. And then you'll go through phases when you are winning. And you kind of have to keep that same level-headedness of like, all right, I'm not going to get too cocky when I am winning, because it isn't always going to be that way. But it's always not going to be that way when you're on your down and outs. Mm-hmm. So whatever it is, whatever you can possibly dream of, you can really, really achieve in this life.
Yes.
And I don't think that could ever be said too much. It really can't. And I hope that you guys really, really believe that, believe in yourselves. I had people telling me that when I was in school, but I also had people telling me I would never amount to anything. So it's good to remind people that if you work hard and you're a good person, things genuinely tend to work out. I think that appreciating things you do have in life is one of the greatest keys to happiness, and never allowing whatever the ebbs and flows of life to make you forget about what's really important. I have 4 siblings, 5 kids, and we grew up during the 2008 financial crisis. Times were tough. And I was over at my sister's house, and I brought over Chinese food, and we're slamming Chinese food. And we sit there like, this is really nice that we can afford a Chinese food, and like there's leftovers. You know what I mean? It's just never forgetting all the great things that you take for granted. That if you have 2 legs to stand up on in the morning, if you have a family that you can call, being really thankful for those things is one of the biggest keys to being happy, being fulfilled, and to talk about volunteering again with amazing nonprofits. The Defensive Line is one of the amazing nonprofits that I've got the pleasure of working with. But when you do volunteer, you get a lot of perspective and a lot of gratitude. So yeah, gratitude goes a long way.